He started by flossing a tooth, not his whole mouth.
Tooth.
That's overwhelming.
Right.
But you can do one tooth. I mean,
one tooth.
You can do it.
Welcome to Homebound Harmony. I am Brett.
I'm Stephanie.
And we are here to answer some questions, talk a little bit about household logistics.
My domain.
Is what I like to call it.
Yes.
And then I'm going to share a techie tip or a tip on using technology where you are basically working from home, but it can be applicable to basically anything you're doing.
But a lot more of you are working from home this week.
Right.
Welcome.
All right. Steph, why don't you start off with sort of a household logistic tip for everyone?
This is something I've been doing almost a year, and I'm a person who's very focused on achievement, but I'm a type A. But the hard part about
some would call that a perfectionist.
Yeah, a little bit, but I've tried to learn to use my superpowers for good rather than evil over the years because I don't want to torture my family. I can be hard to live with. But one of the hard parts about being home with your family is when you don't have, a memo or a boss to report to, your day can kind of vaporize into nothing. And someone will ask you at the end of the day, what did you do today? And you kind of don't know what to say because you know that you're exhausted and you know that you didn't stop moving all the live long day, but you don't feel like you have anything to show for it. So there are two books that help me a great deal. This one is by Tim Challies. It's called Do More Better. I read this every year now around the holidays to get motivated, assess
very small.
Yeah, it's very short. It's barely over 100 pages long. And if Tim Challies ever sees this, thank you so much because this is a great, great resource. I read it every year. I'll keep showing it while I talk about it. I read it every year around the holidays, kind of to assess how my year has gone and what I want to get better at. But he gives a lot of good specific, which I like specificity, a lot of specific tips about how to do that. So what I started doing in response to this book is, and it's going to sound either insanely overbearing or so simple that it's stupid, but it works. So please try it. I write down everything that I do all day long. I never go back and read it again. I could throw it in the garbage. But the process of having to write down the things that I do all day, it makes me want to fill that page. And at the end of the day, when I sit down before we eat dinner, I'm like, I did get some stuff done today. It doesn't even really matter too much what it is.
It's something tangible that you can look at immediately and see. Tangible
proof that you've done something valuable with this day. When I first started this list, it was one thing on each line. And as I got closer to the holiday season this year, I would fill a whole page and I didn't want to waste the paper. So I started to put like tasks on a single line, and now I'm trying to push myself to fill that page again. So sometimes it's simple things like making dinner.
You put little things on there too.
Texting, when I text friends to keep up with them.
Call somebody back or something.
Now, right now.
It's all things you've accomplished.
Right now, that phone call list is very heavy because I am trying to purposefully reach out to people during the coronavirus time because we're all isolated in our houses. And I think we need to be calling each other and connecting as human beings. But then another thing that happened with this list recently, we started reading this book together recently. This is Tiny Habits.
Good.
It's really a fun book. It might be less fun if you're a type B, but I'd still encourage you to try it anyway. It talks about
there's a little bit of some minutia in there.
I know.
But if you can take away the nuggets from it.
The sum total is you can change your habits, your bad and good habits, by just doing little tiny things that are achievable.
Like every time he pees,
he does 2 push-ups.
He does 2 push-ups.
And he started this thing by flossing
but he got fit. Yeah.
Right. He started by flossing a tooth, not his whole mouth.
Tooth.
That's overwhelming. Right. But you can do one tooth. I mean,
one tooth.
You can do it. So that's my momentum getting motivator tip for today, because when you're home, it is too easy to feel like you didn't accomplish, like your day just vaporized into nothingness. But if you can see by lunchtime, like I wrote down 3 things, but I wanted to get more done by now, you use your afternoon to really get at it.
So while I do like writing it down and having something tangible that you can see, like that's something that you can see, of course I have to at least give a techie alternative to that. There are a multitude of task management apps available, crazy things out there.
That I don't use.
Some of the high, well, you used Things for a while.
The hard part for me with those is
intricate,
I spend so much time keeping up with the organizing of it. I can turn that into a slave master of its own.
Right.
It's just, I just write down stuff.
There are a multitude of task management apps, and I actually don't like them so much because of that reason and others. So here's one. Microsoft it purchased a tool. This was one you actually used it for a while. It was called Wunderlist.
I loved Wunderlist.
It was WUN. It was from Germany, so I was like, I preferred it. I preferred saying Wunderlist.
Yeah.
It's Wunderlist. Anyway, Microsoft bought it like several years ago. Well, now they have created their own app called Microsoft To Do, and basically it's Wunderlist on the back end. They're actually getting ready to kill Wunderlist completely.
I got that email.
They left it going for a while, but now they're going to kill it. So Microsoft To Do, very, very simple app, and what I love about it is it just is based on creating a list. Similar to your writing it down. You don't have to schedule everything. You don't have to be sophisticated and like what day and time this is going to come back. It's a free app. Anybody can download it and use it on any app, on any device, any computer, Windows, Mac, iPhone, Android phone, iPad, and it synchronizes across all of these devices. Now, you do have to have a free Microsoft account, which is like if you had an Xbox, you would have a Microsoft account on there. Or if you have a subscription to Office 365, you can tie it in with that. But it's very easy. And the same way that this is satisfying as seeing a list, you've already said it, that they kept the pling.
The pling. That would almost motivate me
in
to do.
Microsoft To Do. Like literally when you tap and click it, it has the check mark on there and it's it is
we used to do that.
A satisfying sound. That's like one of the best. Like that's how I know I'm marking something up on there. Now you can set up
that endorphin rush that you get from getting something done.
That's what he talks about in there. That's right.
So
now you can set up a date to have it to remind you. What I also like about it is it allows you to do subtasks in there. So if you have a task that's overwhelming, you can break it down into some little tasks in there. You can add notes on each of the tasks. And you can also share those lists with others. So I use it for like a packing list. That's what I'm saying. For a packing list.
I was sad when they got rid of
or a grocery list. Well, now you don't have to be sad anymore. You use Microsoft To Do.
Because I have this and it works.
You can use both. I can easily move the tasks and the lists around so I can rearrange things.
See, I'm already overwhelmed hearing about.
But no, it's just, you know what? I'm taking it to the nth degree because you can do
2 different ways to live your life.
But it is one of the most simplest apps. It is free. It synchronizes across all your devices, and so you can get access to it anywhere. In fact, you can even add tags in there. Okay, I'll stop being a little too crazy. It's the pling.
It's the pling. I do love the pling.
The pling is so absolutely satisfying.
It is. It's like giving yourself a like. Right? The endorphin rush that you get from Insta and Facebook, it's like you gave yourself, you did it.
All right, so hopefully that's a couple of tips from the logistical aspect and the techie aspect on
And if you really want to try this,
harmony,
feel free to ask me specifics.
We welcome questions.
I have a lot of specifics.
You can leave a comment down below under the video. We welcome any questions if you want us to address something, or if you have some questions about, we got the kids at home, you got to be schooling.
How do you still get stuff
We've
done?
We've homeschooled for several years, and I work at home.
School.
So that's important. Or you can just buy us a coffee. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/bbernie, or Stephanie is Best in Pickles. I'll have the links down below so that if you found any of this helpful, go and buy us a cup of coffee. That'd be great. A cup of virtual coffee, as it were.
Coffee.
We won't actually touch anything.
We can't leave the house to get coffee right now, so.
The equivalent of a cup of coffee. Okay, too much on there.
We can talk about coffee sometime.
All right, thanks for watching.